Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron's plans to set up a €500 billion £448 billion to help the economic recovery of EU states following the coronavirus pandemic has been derailed by Austria, Sweden, the Netherlands and Denmark. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron plan for the European Commission, the EU executive, is to borrow €500 billion £448 billion as common debt and transfer it to the regions and industries hit hardest. But 4 states have opposed the proposal and said strict conditions should be attached to the grant. Euronews' Isabel Kumar asked reporter Jack Perrick for more details. Franco-German plans look like they've been derailed, but what are the so-called Frugal Four proposing instead? Mr. Perrick said, what the leaders of Austria, Sweden, the Netherlands and Denmark are saying essentially is the fund that gets put into the budget to try and help Europe with economic recovery from COVID-19, that instead of being grants there should actually be strict conditions on them. The Dutch Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, said that countries like, Italy and Spain which have been hard hit by the pandemic but also have high national debt should be forced to take on reforms if they take money from this pot. The €500 billion fund that was proposed by Emmanuel Macron and Angela Macron was supposed to be a mutualised pot of debt. It meant that everyone shouldered the burden together. It was seen as a big step for the Germans who had been really reluctant to do that. But now it looks like even though the Germans are on board, these 4 countries are really going to put a stick in the mud on it. Ms. Merkel had opposed a proposal by French President Emmanuel Macron for a recovery fund that would, for the first time, bind all 27 member states to raise debt jointly. Diplomats in Brussels, Paris and Berlin familiar with the discussions said Ms. Merkel had dropped Germany's long-held opposition to mutualizing debt to fund other member states, when it became clear the EU itself was in peril.